But before I get to the news of the day, I think I'd like to discuss a little bit of the coverage of the past 24 hours. Some members of the media were engaged in deliberately false reporting. For all the talk about the proper use of Twitter, two instances yesterday stand out. One was a particularly egregious example in which a reporter falsely tweeted out that the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. had been removed from the Oval Office. After it was pointed out that this was just plain wrong, the reporter casually reported and tweeted out and tried to claim that a Secret Service agent must have just been standing in front of it. This was irresponsible and reckless. Secondly, photographs of the inaugural proceedings were intentionally framed in a way, in one particular tweet, to minimize the enormous support that had gathered on the National Mall. This was the first time in our nation's history that floor coverings have been used to protect the grass in the mall. That had the effect of highlighting any areas where people were not standing, while in years past, the grass eliminated this visual. I believe that we have to be honest with the American people. I think sometimes we can disagree with the facts.
You stand by your statement that was the most watched inaugural address?
Sure, it was the most watched inaugural. It's unquestionable. I don't see any numbers that dispute that.
And the approach that you took on Saturday, any second thoughts on
that? Look, I think Jonathan, look, I want this to, I came out to read a statement, and I did it. We're here today. I'm going to stay here as long as you want.
They're concerned that this CIA report, which we at NBC News have confirmed exists, that there was hacking done by Russian actors, and they say that with a high degree of confidence.
Right, there's a difference between them attempting to hack something and having a discernible attempt at, and the ability to change the outcome. I think that it would be nice for folks in the media and folks on the left to finally admit that they lost and they were wrong. And that's where I think there's a big difference here.
Even if they didn't have an impact on the election, you're not saying you're okay with Russians hacking the system?
No one's hacking. No. But this is the point, Kate, and I've said it over. Donald Trump said it. Reince Priebus has said it, that no one should be interfering with the integrity of a U.S. election.
Saying that you don't trust the CIA.
No, stop doing that.
I'm just asking
you a question.
Are you saying that you don't trust the CIA? Because just a moment ago, just a moment ago you said three-letter agencies with unnamed sources. That's why I'm asking. Do you not trust?
No. Tell me someone in the CIA, give me a name, publish a report, and we'll deal with it. Right now, you guys start saying that you read these reports. You don't have no names behind them. There's nothing.
Let me be very clear.
You have the October 17th report.
Our sources have seen it, and our sources at NBC News have confirmed that the conclusion was drawn that Russians were responsible for the hacking with a high degree of confidence.
Okay, the same sources and the same people
and I'm
who
asking,
said
do you not believe that?
I'm just trying to get to
yeah, absolutely.
I'm saying the same people who Friday night, when we were presented it by several news organizations, said that the same people were concluding that all of their conclusions were based on the fact that in part the RNC was hacked. They've now walked that back in the course of the last 48 hours. So my point to you is that the facts that we were initially presented to were clearly not accurate. And so it does call into question, and I find it interesting that you guys aren't asking them to provide further proof of this when we've already undermined part of the premise.
We're asking for. We'd love to see the report.
No, you're not. You're asking me, and you're questioning my belief.
You don't know that we're not asking that. Of course we are. We're trying to report this out in Washington. I have numerous colleagues. I've been on email all morning with colleagues who are reporting it out. We're doing our best, Sean. I agree with you. We'd love to have more information.
Look, with all due respect, the best is not then that good, because so far we've seen major organizations walk back stories that were false. So I do think that we've had some concerns about the integrity of the intelligence reporting by sources. I'm not questioning the CIA. I'm not questioning any other three-letter agency. Anything further for you on that?
I'm just.
I didn't. Okay, April, there are reports. I don't have anything for you.
So
I just said I don't have anything for you, but I would be very clear that this president's commitment to rooting out radical Islamic terrorism is something that is at the forefront of his agenda. And I know that there's been a lot of reports about where that program or that effort is going to lie. I have nothing else. Thank you, April. Cecilia.
Sean, just to correct you, you say not a single statement was ever issued or made after the Chinese hacking. I have the statement right here in my hands. So there were statements.
He did answer that. The activity occurred in April of 2015, and what you're saying is, what, 6 months later, he made comments about it when asked? That's very different than the activity that they're going through right now. The White House is being very... let me give you another piece of information. The President of the United States says in September, he, quote, told Vladimir Putin to, quote, knock it off. If he knew then that there was activity going on, why didn't they act? Was it because of a political reason that they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, and they thought, why address this now? It's only until Donald Trump won that they seem to want to react to Russia.
But Sean, I'm more interested. Hold on, Sean, because I'm more interested in what Mr. Trump is going to do than what we're not electing President Obama again. But you are representing Mr. Trump. So if Mr. Trump, if the conclusion is that in fact Russia and Vladimir Putin were behind the DNC hacks and tried to meddle in the U.S. election, what will Mr. Trump do about it?
He will meet with his team, take their recommendations, and make a conclusion based on that as to what a proportional response should and could be.
And what does that look like?
How can you ask me what it looks like when we don't even have a final report?
Because you must be planning for that possibility.
No, the way that the idea that you should be talking about the conclusion or the actions that you're going to take on a conclusion that's not final yet is unbelievably irresponsible.
Wait a minute,
report
Sean.
is not, hold on. The report's not final. He has not been briefed by the heads of the intelligence community yet, and you're asking me what his response should be.
He has not been briefed by the heads of the intelligence community about whether or not they believe that Russia is behind the hacking.
No, they're coming in later this week to do that. And so the idea that you're asking me, and neither is the President of the United States, frankly, because the report isn't final. So the idea that you're asking anybody what their reaction should be to a non-final report is unbelievable.
Hold
I just
on,
don't
Sean.
get it. No, not hold on.
Sean.
The idea that we are asking people and making assumptions on a report that's not final is unbelievable.
Okay, so in other words, Lindsey Graham and Senator John McCain are also unbelievable and irresponsible since
they're not the ones who instituted the sanctions. It's the President of the United States.
They're planning hearings about it. They believe these 17
Hold on. Oh, wait. Stop.
Briefed.
Hold on. Listen to what you just said. They're planning hearings. They are actually trying to get it right, listen to what's going on, get the intelligence, and then come to a conclusion.
Wait a minute.
That's actually
Sean,
the right way to go.
They have stated that they believe that Russia is behind this. That's why they're holding the hearings.
I understood. They believe something, then they're having a hearing to get more information, and then coming to a conclusion. As Terry pointed out, it's a 90-day ban to ensure that we have further vetting restrictions so that we know who's coming to this country.
What about the countries like Pakistan, like Afghanistan, where there have been terrorist
And we're
attacks?
going to
Saudi
continue.
Arabia
We're
on
looking at this.
9/11.
We're looking at all of this holistically. But I think the first step
But
was
why
to look,
these first, where there haven't been
I just said it
attacks?
twice, because I think these were the Obama administration put these first and foremost. Very, very clear to the American people. And that, hold on, thank you.
Mayor Giuliani today. What do you think of the mayor's claim that the executive order on those 7 countries evolved from the Muslim ban that the president proposed during the campaign? Is that accurate?
I think the president has talked about extreme vetting and the need to keep America safe.
Too, but he said that it came out of the desire to have a
Then
Muslim
you should
ban.
ask Mayor Giuliani. That's his opinion. I'm just telling you what the president has said and what the president has done has been to focus on making sure that we keep the country safe.
During that week, so he says it's a ban.
He's using the words that the media is using, but at the end of the day, it can't. Hold on. It can't be. It can't be. Jonathan, thanks. I'll let Kristen talk. It can't be a ban if you're letting 1 million people in. If 325,000 people from another country can't come in, that is by nature not a ban.
I understand your point, but
It is
the
extreme
president
vetting.
himself called it a ban.
I understand.
Is he confused, or are you confused?
No, I'm not confused. I think that the words that are being used to describe it are derived from what the media is calling this. He has been very clear that it is extreme vetting.
It seems to fit into this broader point, Sean, which Paul Ryan said today. I think it's regrettable that there was some confusion on the rollout of this. The House Speaker saying that. What do you say to Republicans who argue that this is a part of a broader issue with the president not enacting this policy smoothly?
Well, first of all, I think we've addressed that. That we could have either telegraphed this days in advance, in which people could have gotten on planes and come over here, which would have undermined the exact nature of what this sought to prevent. Or we could have done it in a way that inconvenienced some folks for a little while. Can I answer the question? No. I do. There's clearly some confusion, but I think part of it, your network was one of the people that just hours ago told people that General Kelly was unaware of what's going on, and then moments later, he gets on air saying, here's how many times I can brief. So, I mean, with all due respect, I think you have been part of the confusion.
New York Times report that was cited.
Okay, so I apologize that NBC News' reporting is based on the New York Times false reporting. But at the end of how can it be accurate reporting, Glenn, if...
Can be
okay,
true.
so the Secretary of Homeland Security just stood up, and so you're calling him a liar?
He didn't say so. The specifics.
Jonathan, I'm talking to Glenn. I'm talking to... You said that he was... The report in the New York Times said that he was unaware of the ban. Well, and I'm telling you that I don't believe the New York Times reporting is accurate.
Governor Bush, Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency. That's not going to happen.